Newest biopic, here's the synopsis. From illegal gambling to match fixing, discover the seedy underworld behind the once revered sport of Muay Thai. It is inspired by true events. This really took me by surprise. Like, I was just impressed by the actual title. Like, I didn't actually know this was coming out, but once we really got into it, I really enjoyed it. It's only 4 episodes. Each episode goes for about 50 minutes, and it's really engaging in how they're telling the story of what actually goes into the world of Muay Thai. So it's really engaging how they're mixing in the sport and also the reenactments and the actual people's like retelling the events that are actually happening. Really engaging in terms of how all these like corporations and stuff work their magic in terms of like influencing the sport. So like, they go into how the gambling and how the hand signals, and it's really bizarre that it works on like a gentleman's agreement, how they're actually like just do their hand signals and like they try and mostly honor their bets that happen. So there's like one of the stories where one of those bets don't go quite well, and it gets told through that reenactment while they are flashing back to the actual people telling them about how they experienced those events. And then you got like the referees and like how corruption really sets in and how they used to drug fighters and stuff to actually really get the results that they wanted. Like, I never knew like how the underworld works in terms of just on a sport where you generally have your 50-50 sort of outcomes, because obviously fighting can go any way. Like, you never know what's going to happen, even if it's like a really experienced against unexperienced. Like, you see it in the UFC all the time. Like, people come in and they just start, get one lucky punch and that turns the tide of the actual fight. Where this really was really engaging. I did like. Most of the reenactments are pretty good. There are times where the reenactments are probably a little bit long in terms of I would like them to move on with the story. But overall, it's just really stylish how they flash it all in and really incorporate the true stories are just so out there. Like, I didn't know that the actual sport wasn't recognised as a national sport due to how much corruption and stuff is going on. Like, that's one of the opening lines, and how these people are trained up. Like, it's so captivating. Like, this is a truly gripping, dark, gritty like documentary series that they've produced, like well done Netflix. And I've only really got 1 or 2 things wrong with this. Like, the reenactments are a little bit long. Like, there's times I'd rather just have the guy telling me about the true events, where occasionally there was like just that drawn out scene where I was like, all right, let's move on a little bit. And a couple of the fights are quite interesting. Like, there are times where you could have just shown, like some highlights of actual footages, but like it is what it is. It's flashy, it's gritty, it's well edited, it's an engaging story. If you do watch it in dubbed, like the voice is a little bit out, but I turned that off halfway through and started watching with actual subtitles, which made it much more engaging and much better in terms of not being put off by the lip sync being out. But like, I can't take that away from it. But it's really good. It's definitely easily a 4 out of 5 for me, and make sure you check it out. Let me know what you think, and you know what to do. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends.